Going on Facebook. Hey, if you're watching this on replay, put hashtag replay so I know you were here today. I'm going to share with you some really cool things out of a notebook that I just shared and learned. I can't wait to share this lesson with you. Millionaires are cool, but billionaires are next level. Hey guys, today I'm going to share with you four major lessons from a master class that I just attended by a man that I highly respect that has managed and ran companies that have done billions and billions and billions of dollars. So you're going to want to take down some notes and how to avoid some major mistakes and pitfalls that'll help you both build your business and actually also your wealth as well. So um, let's go. Money is one of those things that I don't know about you. When I was growing up, was something that was never really taught. And it's important because whether you want to expand your income or if you want to grow your wealth, you're only going to be able to get to the level of understanding, conviction, and values that you actually take down. So it's important that we expand our mindsets. It's important that we get around other people that are successful in these areas. And I learned really quickly that one of the secrets to expanding your wealth, your success, your prosperity is just change the environment that you're around. Start hanging around people that are doing the things that you want to do because if someone else did it, if you just do what they do, you're going to make what they make. Well, just yesterday, we had the opportunity to sit down with a gentleman named Darren Zobrist. Now, Darren happens to be the owner and the CEO of the company that we're partnered with right now. But prior to that, he went to Wharton Business School. That is the top business school in United States. He got his dream job at Goldman Sachs, one of the biggest consulting firms that are out there, and managed portfolios of hundreds of millions of dollars for one client, like billions of dollars. So he would regularly give advice on how to actually continue to grow that wealth. After that, he then built his own very successful global seafood company and sold that for a very large amount, retired, and now he is building his next billion-dollar brand, which is already on track to doing that in the next couple of years. Well, we sat down with some leaders that qualified for an exclusive masterclass, and we can't share with you all of the details that was shared there, but I can share with you four lessons today. Things that I'm going to take right away that are warnings, but also good direction as well too. So I hope that you find some value in this. So, number one, the first thing that we learned is a philosophy to have in your business and in your wealth building. And the lesson is this: to dream big and to think long term. Dream big and think long term. Now, this might sound really cliche and really, really simple, but the reason why he said that it's important to dream big and think long term is very phenomenal. If we think too small in a business setting or even in a wealth building setting, what happens is it is not exciting enough to drive you through the inevitable tough times that you're going to face. Let's be real. Business and life is hard. Can we agree with that? You're going to go through struggle. You're going to go through ups and downs. You're going to go through things that you never thought that you would have at all. Before we partnered with Darren, our company and our business that we had been growing for a decade went bankrupt. So we were like, oh my gosh. And if our goals weren't big enough, we would have just bowed out and quit right there. But fortunately, we had a big dream and allowed us to take a look at what Darren was building next. And we decided to partner, and it's been the best thing ever. We've had our best business years ever. But it's important to dream big. Why also? Because with dreaming big, it means that you have to dream so big where your mind gets obsessed about finding a way to figure it out. Les Brown says this, that most people in life, they don't set so big of a target and miss. They set too low of a target and they hit, which is why they're not satisfied and fulfilled in life. But if you think something massive, and Darren himself, with everything he's done, but also specifically what the company's building now, he has 100-year vision. Talk about big and long term. He has such a big vision that it forces him and it tricks his mind to every day be obsessed and consumed about solving the problems that are at hand. So, in your business or in your wealth building, are your goals so big that you force yourself into a place that you're sleeping thinking about the next solution? You wake up thinking about the next solution. That you continue to ideate because you have to fill in all the blanks and you move faster and faster and faster. So big goals are important, right? Tony Robbins says this, that most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, but they underestimate what they can do in 10. So we think way too small and we think way too short term. We live in a social media realm now where we want things yesterday. But the reality is, if you want success in anything that's long lasting, it will be a long term goal. But not just thinking big, but thinking long term. This was interesting because if we have a short term goal with our business, with our wealth, then you're going to think differently. For example, let's say I had a goal that I was obsessed about for only the next year and I needed to make an extra $1 million. Well, automatically my mind's going to go to shortcuts. My mind's going to go to things that are get rich quick. My minds are going to be going to high risk, over leverage types of things. It's almost like a gambler's mindset. And that's what happens a lot of times. Whereas leaders, we make wrong decisions or unwise decisions because we're going for the thing that we think can pay off right now. The next hottest stock, the next hottest opportunity, the next hot thing. We're jumping from one thing to another thing. We focus on the wrong thing that won't build long-term sustainable growth. But Darren said something that was interesting. He said that, and Shanna Burks was on yesterday. It was super impactful, right? Shanna put in the chat something that you got from yesterday. But he said, think long-term, because he said, in perspective to building a long-term company, he said, when we think about 100 years, then we look and we filter all of our decision-making process and think, how does this impact the 100-year goal? And he said technologies change, systems change, but the things that remain unchanged are relationships. The longer term vision that you have, the more timeless principles that you tend to run. And that's so important because the saying is truth is not old. Truth has been there for thousands of years. It's just that we want to naturally go against that because we want to shortcut the things that take some long term thinking. So, what he said was powerful, though. If you think long term, and we understand that the only thing that remains unchanged is people, then the best thing you can do is invest in yourself and your people. The best thing you can do is get better as a communicator. The best things you can do is to get better with serving others. And we understand that you are your own best asset and your people are the best assets all the time. And your focus becomes there as an entrepreneur. Yes, we sell products and services, but ultimately what we do is we build people. So I took that note as a business builder myself. I'm thinking, how good am I doing with building my people that have been entrusted to me? How good are you doing with building your people? All right. So that's huge. Long term, too, on an investment standpoint, similar. Instead of jumping into the next gamble, look at things that over the course of time actually yield a very strong return. And that's important. So, lesson number one was that. Lesson number two was super powerful as well. Concentration versus diversification. Concentration versus diversification. In social media world, we hear things like the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. We hear things like it's wise to have multiple streams of income. We hear things like diversify, diversify, diversify from both a wealth building standpoint, from a active standpoint, building businesses, building income, and also a wealth building, asset building side. And it sounds like it's a good idea. So what happens is you see people now doing all different types of side hustles, right? They do Uber here, they do a network marketing business here, they do affiliate here, they're selling this, they're doing everything under the sun because we believe that multiple streams of income gives us a competitive advantage, and that's how it works. Well, there's a nuance that is important to have here. And he said that with anything that he did in his life that was very successful, and you can take this across the world, if you're in build mode, you have to concentrate. You have to focus on one thing. You have to obsess about one thing. You have to put all your energy on one thing. If you diversify, you're in maintenance mode. So there is a time for diversification. And yes, there is a time that you might look into different assets or you might have different types of streams of income. But the question is when to do that. And I see that for myself, I'm tempted. And I see that for most other people, especially when you see that a stream of income doesn't do well, we think that stream is an issue. And then we hop to another stream. We say, let me diversify my efforts. Two streams better than one stream, right? Entirely false. Assuming that stream that you have has no issues. Usually it's not the stream that's the issue, it's how we operate in that stream that's an issue, if that makes sense. So concentration versus diversification. Let's face the real facts and the real issues. As somebody that coaches a lot of entrepreneurs, I hear it all the time. James, my business isn't doing well. I'm going to go do this other thing. I'm going to go add on this other thing. They're like, what do you think? I'm like, even if you do something else, if you don't change, how are your results going to change? If this stream of income is totally fine and it has the capacity to help you achieve the financial goals that you have, is it the vehicle that's an issue or is it the driver that's an issue? And it takes humility and it takes a healthy self ego to realize that if we're not getting paid what we want to get paid with a good vehicle, a good financial vehicle, that perhaps it's actually our fault. Perhaps we need to concentrate more and go bulldoze to the problems and get better rather than hop to something else and thinking that that's that the shiny object syndrome. All right. The reality is concentration is how you build anything massive. To be obsessed about that one thing. And then when you're not in build mode, at that point, then you can diversify. Here's another example. When you're in build mode and you're making money in a business, Darren told us, are you reinvesting into your business? Are you investing into your people? Are you flying out to your key clients, your key partners? Are you doing the things to continue to expand? Because, and this is something that came to mind, I think, like, I hear online, oh, I should get into real estate, for example, right? Like that's a common thing. Nothing wrong about real estate. Let's say real estate gives you a 10% return. Here's something I learned from my mentors is if you have a business and the business has unlimited upside, right? Then what's the best investment at the time? Is it a 10%, even a 20% return on real estate? Or if you took that same money and you reinvested it into yourself, if you reinvested it into your team, could you make 100%? Case in point, I'll just personal example. This last year, we invested heavily into international growth. We invested into an Australian team. So we took 2 trips there. That's investment of time, energy, and money. But guess what? Investing into that has increased our income probably $15,000 to $20,000 a month from, let's call it a $5,000 to $10,000 investment. That is a way better investment than real estate will ever get because in business can have unlimited upside. Okay. Point number 2 was concentration versus diversification. If any of this makes sense, put make sense in the comments below. Number 3. Oh, this one's big. Number 3. So it hit me hard. He used an example of when he was managing his clients at Goldman Sachs and he'd be managing the stock portfolios of his very wealthy clients, hundreds of millions of dollars. And he was talking about a time when the tech boom and the tech bust was happening and the stock market was going down and went down 50% from the prime. And he told us a story about a client that was so scared he sold at the bottom. So his $100 million plus portfolio instantly got half in value, sold out. And then what happened is the stock market bounced back 4 times more in the following 2 decades. And what happens with our lives is many of us, all of us are tempted when life takes inevitable challenges and turns and business goes down, income goes down, it looks like our environment and our society is going down. Out of fear, we make fear based moves and we sell out. We quit our business, we jump to something else, we stop doing the things that are income producing, we start becoming super conservative. From investments, we sell out. And that is the worst time to sell out because we're 3 feet from gold. Jim Rohn said this: with expansion comes recession, but with recession comes expansion. There's seasons in life. And so many times we perceive that a season is a lifetime. That is false. Winter never just stayed winter. It wasn't like, screw you, I'm just going to mess you up this year. No. A financial season is a season, a business season is a season, and it can stay a season and it can turn as long as we keep in the game and we keep on doing the daily do. So you have to ask yourself, as an entrepreneur and wealth builder, when things go down, are you convicted and committed enough? And I think a big dream is important, a part of this, right? It'll force you so that even when things go down, that you will still be able to stay in the game. I just made a post earlier today and I talked about 10 leadership philosophies that's led our sales team to be one of the top out of 400,000 partners. And I shared in the story how we've been in the same business and the same product for 14 years. We had a time in our business that was amazing, and then we lost almost everything. We built a sales team of thousands and it went down to 10. And our income went from very high to barely subsistence. We're about to quit. But because we had big dreams, we stayed in the game and it turned and it went completely different. And we have more than 10x everything around the globe. So don't sell out on the bottom. Can you promise that to yourself? When the bottom comes, I will not sell out on my dream. Ed Milet says this: are you willing to sell your dream? To make it so big that you cannot sell out. Last one, and I'll end on this. Darren, in his career, noted that there were a few times where he had major opportunities strike, and that changed his wealth and his impact for forever. The most recent was he had retired because he sold his seafood company. He focused, he concentrated, he thought big, he went long term, did that. Retired. And then all of a sudden, his best friend, John Wadsworth, who had built a network marketing business for almost 30 years, selling the same product, sold $3 billion worth, shared with Darren, hey, my company's going bankrupt. We're about to lose everything. What do we do? And Darren, in his words, said, as a good friend, anyone would do this, right? Darren said, why don't we just buy the company? This was millions and millions and millions of dollars to buy a company, right? Why don't we just buy a company? I think John at first was like, I didn't even think about that. And Darren did it. And now the company's debt free, profitable already very quick. And now Darren's into his next venture in his life that he's obsessed about with a 100-year vision. But his moral of that story was that you have to be prepared for opportunity, because opportunities are out there every day. From a wealth building standpoint, if you don't have cash ready to go, let's say you found a great opportunity, just like what happened with the company that he bought, well, he would have missed out and someone else would have had the opportunity. Let's say it's whatever millions that it was and it turns to billions, that's $1 billion opportunity missed. What if you saw the opportunity, but you just weren't prepared for it financially, number one? So are you building a nest egg, for example? Are you flexible and fluid? right? Do you have assets that are ready to go? We've missed many opportunities in our life because we weren't wise with the money. This time we're doing it different. So we're being very intentional with living below our means. We're being very intentional. For example, just yesterday, we have one car right now paid off. We used to be super big into cars. We were over leveraged, but we had one car that's paid off because that's all we need. And we were seriously debating yesterday. We were shopping, me and my wife, for a SUV. We're looking at the new Lucid Gravity. It's a cool electric SUV. It's like $120,000 car. We can afford it. Praise God. And we're looking at it. We're like, oh man, I want to buy it. Right? I'm easy to sell. But then we started to break it down. We're like, well, we broke down the cost. It's gonna be $63,000 to actually own over the course of the next 3 years. Do we really need it? Will it pay off? What else can we use $63,000 for? We can take $63,000 and reinvest it into our business, and that can turn into $600,000. It's like, do we really, really need it? And we decided at the end, we're like, we don't need it right now. Because why? It's what Darren was saying. We want to be prepared for opportunities financially, but also personally. I love how Darren said it. He said, emotionally, are you ready? Let's say in business, right? We're in network marketing. So we want to build sales teams and build out lots of customers and stuff like that. And we've had the blessing in the last few years to be able to expand thousands and thousands of partners and be able to partner with amazing leaders in everything. This year, we onboarded 700 new leaders in just a few weeks. And some people say, I would love to have that opportunity. And then the flip side that I challenge all of us to think is, are we in an emotional space to be ready for the opportunity? Because 700 people means 700 emotions. Do we have emotional capacity to go problem solve through that? So, question that I'm reflecting on myself is, with what you have right now in your business, how are you navigating and stewarding that? If we can't take care of what we have right now, why will God bless us with more? Or even if you see the opportunity, you claim it, you'll lose it because we were not prepared emotionally. How about your skills? Are you overskilled for the business that you have right now? I want to be so good that I have the capacity to actually help and train and lead way more business than what it is that we have right now. So, are you being diligent now and over preparing? Are you becoming an expert in your craft? Are you training every single day for that next opportunity? Right. So, emotions and skills. How about your leadership? How are you doing with that? How are you navigating with your leadership? What's the size of the problem that takes you down right now? And what is the time of recovery it takes for that problem? I think about these things as I was listening to Darren. Because Darren, if you meet with them, nothing phases him. He's super chill. He's very calm. Like you can tell, he knows and he was ready to step into this position of a CEO of a future multi-billion-dollar company, not only financially, but also from a mindset status, from a leadership standpoint, his emotional standpoint, his spirit. He is grounded spiritually. His wellness disciplines are grounded really, really well. So for you, let me grab my little doggy here. She wants to be with us. There we go. Here's a little Coco. So, are you ready? So many times we wish for opportunity, but that's not what we wish for. Don't change the wind, right? We can't change the wind, but we can change the set of the sail. And I'll leave it at this because there were 4 lessons that we learned from Darren. I hope that was helpful. Let me know what impacted you the most out of those 4. Or maybe it's just Coco that impacts you. Dreaming big and thinking long term, concentration versus diversification, don't sell out at the bottom, and be prepared for opportunity. There was like probably 5 to 10 times more than that, but that's all I can share for now. It was so amazing. Mentorship is so key. But just reflect to yourself right now, what if you actually had that opportunity you were praying for in your business, in your life, in your finances? But what if you actually weren't prepared to jump on it and you missed it? The saying is, most of us have a couple of life changing opportunities that we actually stumbled upon over our life, but most of the time, we just weren't prepared and we missed it. That would be the biggest burn. All right. So I hope that's helpful. If it was, consider sharing this, maybe tag someone in this. In the meanwhile, I'm going to go feed my little Coco. She is never full. So hope it does.